Butterflies are really important pollinators, but unfortunately, more than 20 species of butterflies are on the endangered species list, making them one of the most at risk of the pollinators. The monarch butterfly is one of those species on the list. In the late 1900s, you could see waves of monarch butterflies migrating across California, and now we barely see them in our gardens. In this video, we're going to focus on the monarch butterfly and their connection to milkweed. Monarch butterflies, or Danius plexippus, are butterflies with bright orange wings with black outlines and white spots. A lot of monarch butterflies live in North America or Canada. They're divided into two groups by the Rocky Mountains, the eastern population and the western population. In the summer, they live near the south of Canada and near the top of the United States. They tend to migrate during the fall to stay in warmer areas during the winter. The eastern population migrates to the high mountains of central Mexico, and the western population migrates to coastal California. They can travel up to 4,000 kilometers in their journey across America. A lot of types of butterflies can survive the harsh colds of winter, but monarch butterflies can't, hence the migration. Once they get to warmer temperatures, they huddle together on oyamel, fir trees, or eucalyptus trees. They have the uncanny ability to find the same trees each time they migrate, so that generations of butterflies spend their winters on the same trees. Their migration to Mexico has some cultural significance as well. Their migration lines up with a holiday in Mexico called Dia de los Muertos, a day all about celebrating the lives of past loved ones. Monarch butterflies are thought to be the souls of the loved ones returning. There are populations of monarch butterflies that live in some other places, like Puerto Rico or Hawaii, but they don't migrate and they have smaller bodies and smaller forewings than the migratory butterflies. Female monarch butterflies lay their eggs on the leaves of milkweed plants, up to 300 or 500 eggs per 2 weeks. Once the eggs hatch, the babies spend all their time eating. Monarch caterpillars only eat milkweed leaves, which is why the females only place their eggs on that plant. Now you can see how important the plant is. It's one of the main requirements to the prolongment of the monarch butterflies. After about 2 weeks, the caterpillars spin themselves into cocoons, and after another week or two, they emerge as fully grown butterflies with wings and all. The time of the year the butterfly leaves the cocoon at determines when they start laying eggs and how long they live. If they leave the cocoon during the spring or summer months, they start laying eggs right away, and they only live a couple of weeks. If they emerge right before winter, they live around 6 to 8 months, and instead of pollinating, they start migrating in order to survive. And one of the main reasons monarch butterflies are on the endangered species list is because of the systematic destruction of milkweed plants. It's the only plant females lay their eggs on, and it's the only plant baby monarch butterflies eat. Milkweed used to grow around agricultural areas, but farmers have started pulling the plants as a way to spread their crops. The use of pesticides and herbicides doesn't help either. Lastly, human development and deforestation decreases the number of milkweed available to the butterflies. Deforestation to make room for human development also destroys the resting places monarchs use during the winter. Climate change is also a big factor. Monarch butterflies specifically are very in tune with their environment and the climate. They are very sensitive to temperature and weather changes so that they know when to migrate. The warming of the earth may change biological processes like migration and reproduction. If the monarch butterflies think because of temperature changes that spring is coming earlier than it actually is, they might migrate before milkweed blooms, which would impact the baby monarchs. Scientists have determined that monarch butterfly populations have been decreasing since around the late 1980s, but definitely in the 1990s. In the past 2 decades, the overall monarch butterfly population has decreased 85%. The western population, or the monarchs that journey to California for the winter, has fallen by 99%, going from around 10 million to at some point dipping to 1,900, although that number has risen since then. In July 2022, monarch butterflies were put on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species as endangered. Monarch butterflies are not, however, listed and protected under the Federal Endangered Species Act. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has said that their addition to the list is warranted, but that it hasn't happened because of more high-priority species. And even though they aren't the most efficient pollinators, they are still important to the ecosystem. Because of their small bodies and long legs, they don't pick up as much pollen as furry bees. But some plants have evolved so long with monarch butterflies and are designed so well with butterflies in mind that if butterflies went extinct, it would put all those other plants in danger as well. The number of monarch butterflies traveling during the winter has been reportedly high these past couple of years. It might look like the situation is improving, and we can remain cautiously optimistic that it will continue to improve. Communities and organizations in California counted the butterflies in over 200 winter nesting sites and counted 2,500 butterflies, up from the 1,900. The winter nesting sites in Mexico have also grown bigger, up by about a third of past populations. The non-migratory monarch butterflies in Central and South America aren't endangered as well. Unfortunately, helping them out is more complicated than raising lots of butterflies in the safety of captivity and releasing them into the wild. The monarchs raised indoors lost their inner compass that told them which way to migrate during the winter. Also, monarchs raised in captivity could carry diseases that, when introduced into a wild population, could kill many butterflies. But lots of classes raise a couple of monarch butterflies for educational purposes and teaching students about the life cycles of butterflies, which is okay in moderation. It's just not shown to make a big positive impact on the population as a whole. To help, you can plant native milkweed if you live in places with monarch populations. You can join or donate to organizations dedicated to helping monarch butterflies. These organizations usually petition to get the species on the federal endangered species list, use donations to restore monarch habitats, and provide workshops and educational resources, including recent studies about monarch butterflies. You yourself can also spread the word about monarch butterflies and their plight.